Hey, you guys, and welcome back to 15, 15 for 15. And those of you that have not seen the previous episodes, this time is basically me getting the joy and the privilege to spend at least 15 minutes with 15 athletes that I had the opportunity to coach or to serve over 15 years of collegiate coaching. And today I get to share Lauren Rochelle with you. And me even just saying her name. She's a brand all by herself. And why I'm so excited to share her with you is because she was one of those athletes that could get away with things with me that nobody else could. I think maybe it was like the very first practice we had. I walked up and she was like, "Hey, cutie." And I'm like, "My name is Coach," but she was still calling me cutie from the very beginning. And so, as you saw, even in the title, I have a very funny story I want to share with you guys real quick. It was actually in 2007, and she's one of the few people that could come up and say stuff to me about coaching. And we were in a championship, and we were at the end of the championship. And those of you that know track and field, we're getting ready for the 4x4, and this is like a big deal. And I decided that I was going to change the order. And Miss Lauren was looking over my shoulder like, "Hey, now, wait a minute. We all trying to win here, but I don't know about this order, coach." And so that's why I put that in the thumbnail, is that she was like, "B, I don't think that's going to work." And I'm like, "Wait a minute." But like I said, Lauren was the only person that could say something like that to me, because she was like, "Just let me see." They ran the race. Of course, we won. And she came back by and was like, "Okay, coach, I see you." And if you know anything about Lauren, that is her personality, her drive, her energy is just literally contagious. So I want to share her with you today. So I'm bringing Lauren in now. Hey, hey.
Hey, cutie.
Hey, see? You see what I'm
Hey,
saying?
coach.
I mean, come on now. See what this is exactly what I'm talking about. I'm trying to be professional over here.
Okay.
Okay. I'm trying, but it's not gonna last. How are you?
I am amazing. Like, honestly, I'm amazing. Life
And I know
can't
you
be
are.
any better.
Yes, I know you are. Well, look, I want all your time that I can have. So I need you to tell us, where does this drive and this energy come from you? Because I have to say this, for those of you that don't know, Lauren was actually, and I met her at Georgia Southern University. And so Lauren was already a jumper slash hurdler when I got there, but I only had her for a year because she was a senior. But at our conference championship, I asked her to do 10 events. And yeah, you can pause
Yes,
where
she
you
did.
are. 10
Yes.
events, and she did them. And so I noticed that the same way that she was back then at 21 years old, at 18 years old, to now as an adult entrepreneur, mom, woman, she still has that same drive. So I want to know, where does this drive come from?
I am a firm believer that excuses get nothing done, right? So, I'm whatever I put my best foot forward, I'm going to see it through. But
Yeah.
my drive really comes from, first of all, I'm a Sagittarius. Okay,
Oh,
so we're half human, half beast. So that alone, just we just have such fire under us. But my upbringing, honestly, I lived in Chicago, and anybody that knows Chicago just raised you a little different. You just grow up a little faster. And I was raised by my grandmother. My parents, unfortunately, were victims of addiction in the 80s. So my grandmother raised me,
mm,
and my grandmother was a hustler. My aunt, in particular, she was a hustler. Like, she
mm.
showed me that just because these are the cards that was dealt to you, that don't mean that's the hand you have to play, right? It's She was the first person in our family to buy a house by herself. She had an amazing car. That Maxima, the burgundy Maxima, was
Girl.
everything.
Oh yeah. Oh
It
yeah.
was fully loaded, leather seats, right? And she just showed me what a strong woman looked like,
Mm.
right? So from that point forward, I was just like, I can do that. She did it. I can do it too. And that's just the mindset that I've had since a little girl. I remember probably six from
That-
that point. And I remember telling myself at 18, nobody can hold you back but yourself.
That's right.
Mhm.
Oh, that's really good. So what kind of led you to track and field? Because I think you've always kind of known what you wanted to do as far as
Mm.
career and all of that. So what ultimately got you into track and got you to Georgia Southern? How did that happen?
Well, I'm just going to be honest with you. I absolutely hated running.
Right.
But running afforded me the opportunity to go to college. And I learned that very early on. My freshman year, actually, I was 15 years old. And that's the first time I ever decided to run track.
Mm.
And I went out and tried out. And I actually beat 90% of the girls that I was running against. And I think one of the coaches was like, oh, you going to college off this. And from that point, I was just like, fine, I'm going to college. That's because I wanted to go to college.
Right.
So I knew that was my meal ticket. So I just had to stick with it. Deciding to go to Georgia Southern. So being 18 and about to leave the house, I was the first person in my family to actually go to college. So it
Okay.
was a big deal. But I chose Georgia Southern because there was somebody there that I knew.
Okay.
So that's really why I chose Georgia Southern. I think I had like 4 other scholarship offers, but Georgia Southern was 3 hours away from the house,
Yeah.
and I didn't have a car. And this person that I knew had a car, so I was like, "Bet if I need to drive back and forth,
Mhm.
So I always make decisions based on how it can help me in the future,
Yeah.
right?" Georgia Southern was definitely the best decision I've
Mm.
ever made for myself as a young self, because I actually made that by myself. I didn't have any help. Like I said, no one else in my family went to college. So it wasn't like a push from them. It was like, well, where are you going? What you want to do? And I chose Georgia Southern on my own.
And I love that you said that the way you did, because a lot of people don't stay connected even to where they went to college. But you are
Mm.
I mean, I'll be seeing you with the GATA on stuff
Yes,
and then
ma'am.
the
Yes, ma'am.
woman or whatever. And I think that's huge. Like you're like a real alumni.
Yes. I'm so proud of my accomplishments while
Mm.
there. And then what they offered me while I was there. I did so much. I became a member of Zeta Phi Beta sorority. I was first and foremost being a student athlete,
Yeah.
being on the track team, seeing it go from where it was to where we left it, and then we're the only team that won conference, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Um, on top of that, I was NPHC president, and then I became like a leader in the community with Upward Bound. So I was able to do a lot while there and touch a whole lot of people and, just have a great time. I really did enjoy all 4.5 years while I
Yeah.
was there because I was there 4.5. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm glad you listed some of the things that, that you were doing. Like, I mean, most people, it's hard balancing being a
Ooh.
student athlete, but you were doing all of this other stuff and just kind of, reminiscing. I went back and looked at some of the old pictures you guys had. And there was one picture, I'm gonna have to send it to you after we get off of here, but there's one picture of the team. And I was looking, I was like, I wonder how many of them she did their hair.
Everybody,
I mean,
everybody. How did
Tierra's
I
hair
forget
was,
that? I
yeah,
was the campus stylist. I did everybody's hair.
I'm
Everybody.
Tierra's hair, it made me remember her. It was flawless. Then Brittany was beside her, and I was just like,
And Dominique's hair. I did
yeah,
everybody's hair.
everybody's hair. And then even when mine was about to fall out, I had to ask you to do my hair.
Yep. I did your hair. I did.
You did. So you've always known that was kind of going to be your thing. That was a
Yes.
passion and a love of yours.
Yes.
So now, after being an entrepreneur, your own boss for over 14 years, what made you go ahead and take that step to really go into being Lauren Rochelle and this healthy hair specialist?
Oh, the niche. So one great thing about attending college before becoming an entrepreneur, you learn so much about business.
Okay.
I highly recommend that for any hairstylist, just to take a few business classes. But
Mm.
what that did teach me was just how to brand myself, right? How to brand myself for the long run. So coming out into Atlanta where hair is everything. Everybody, there's a hair salon on every corner.
Yeah.
Okay. So everybody does hair. So I need to set myself apart.
Mm.
Being cute just isn't enough. You gotta have a talent. You have to, So in a world where everybody is wearing extensions and wigs and stuff like that, I wanted to still stay in touch with who we really are
Mm.
and loving ourselves with our own hair and not relying on being cute with extensions.
Yeah.
Because a lot of us fall victim to that. We only feel cute if our hair has weave in it.
Wow.
So me niching just healthy hair, grow your own hair. Look how pretty it is. And I mean, just giving everybody that option. Like that's all I did in school. You
Yeah.
know, I was just like, wear your hair. I don't even think I allowed most of the teammates to wear ponytails when we ran. We ran with our hair down.
Oh, girl. I'm telling you, people getting into it now, they're late.
They're
Like, they're
late.
late.
I was
Yeah.
really ahead of my time. I think I was ahead of my time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've always really been into like the health of our hair. And back then we had relaxers. So I really was big on, hey, you can't pull it back. We have a relaxer. If you pull it too tight, it's going to snap. Only use this kind of oil, you know? So that was just my thing.
You know, it was something else that just came to mind. I don't even know if you remember this, but I know that when I got there, I had introduced, I think we went to the pool every Thursday. I can't remember, but I know it was in Austin. And it just came to my mind because at that point, I don't think the rack was really ready. We were in this old pool behind the training room. I don't
Yeah.
even remember, but I remember it was in Hannah.
All the chlorine. Yeah.
Yes, but I just pictured having y'all in there at 6 o'clock in the morning, and everybody. I mean, they got all these different and you making sure even
I'm
there.
making
Okay,
sure
hey, make sure your stuff is wrapped up.
you do not get in that water with that hair. Oh my God. I was just like, Coach, we can't do this. Our hair is gonna be you were like, get in that water.
Everybody was prepared. Y'all was, and I was like, y'all can take them wraps off, and they looking like,
No, we can't.
that's my hair.
The hair Hitler is right there. Yeah. I was like, no. Yeah, that has always been my thing.
I mean,
Yeah, that's crazy.
you know, that's one thing. You've always been a great leader of yourself first, which I think is more important than anything because people drop the word
Thank you.
leader so easily. But the key is to first be a good leader of yourself before you can try to lead anybody else. But um, I think you remember this, but you were a challenger to people on the team. You know, I mean, and I was only there for a year, but yes, I may have been the coach, but you were like that underlining, like, all right, y'all, we got to go do this. So do you remember what you would say to some of the people on the bus if they didn't score your
Yeah.
points?
If you didn't score points on the bus, I mean at the meet, you would have to double up on your seat. You were not able to have your own seat if you did not score any points. It
See,
just makes sense to me. It's just like you can't. No, you did absolutely. You shouldn't be tired. You did nothing.
see what I'm saying? That's why you need to be like making people look beautiful and feel beautiful. Because if you would have turned into a coach, we'd have been in
Oh,
trouble.
it would have been a problem. Yeah, yeah. That's
No, but it's so, I think that's so good because, especially with the society that we live in today, and we know this, everybody wants the blue ribbon, even if you've done nothing.
even if you've done nothing.
And I
Yeah.
know that offends a lot of people because we want to give out participation awards. But whether you knew it or not, you were speaking my language as a coach because, yes, as that coach, I couldn't do that because I had to kind of build the young person. But you, as a teammate, you could do that
Hold them
because
accountable. Hold them
exactly
accountable.
because you would do the same thing. If you didn't do it, you'd be like, all right, I got to double up. So I
Yeah.
love how you led yourself. You would be accountable for yourself. You would even say, I ain't got it today, you know.
Yeah, just
And
you're not getting nothing out of me today, Coach.
right.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
what if we all really kind of lived on that level to where we know where we stand with people? So you've always been special
Mhm.
with that, and I've always appreciated that about you.
Thank
You're
you.
everybody's biggest cheerleader too. Like we might have got off the bus and you and that person don't even talk, but once they had their uniform on,
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
oh,
ma'am. Oh, yes. You're gonna hear my voice out of everybody. You better run. You better run. Let's do it. Let's go. Yes. Yes. We don't
wow.
have to be friends to be teammates. You're my teammate.
Mm-mm-mm. We don't have to be friends to be teammates, and I think you embody that too because
Yeah.
I want whoever's watching this even now, you don't have to be close to somebody to still want them to win.
To give them their flowers. You don't.
You know what I mean? To
Don't.
still want them to win. So I love that. And I know we're almost out of time, but I want
Oh,
to know it goes by too fast. I know, but I want to know too, like, um, for somebody that's watching this, and I love that, like you said, once you have a goal or a challenge, you're going to go for it and you're going to complete it. What has made you decide, going on almost 15 years of having your own salon and everything, that now you wanted to go back to get even more credentials? Why did you decide that now?
my future.
Okay.
And when I say that, I mean within the next 10 years, I plan to retire from being strictly behind the chair.
Okay.
The chair is my sole source of income right now. So my hands and my feet and my back, like that's my insurance. And if anything were to happen to my hands, my feet, or my back, I won't be able to work. So I need to secure my future. So going back and getting my instructor's license will allow me to have a 401k. It'll allow me to have health insurance and benefits that I don't pay for by myself out of pocket, which I do now. And it just secures my future for what's next.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's the businesswoman talking, and even the more you talk about your future, I mean, in 10 years, think about where your three little ones are going to be.
Right, right. And it'll free up my time. You know,
Oh,
I'll be able to in 10 years, LJ will be 22.
girl, shut. Ain't
That that's disgusting. I don't
that-
want to think about that. What?
wow.
Crazy. And Gabby will be 13. Yeah, I have a teenager. All of them will be almost out the house. So at that point, yeah, I have to, I'll be able to take more vacations and just, be
Man,
able to live the soft life for real.
and before we even close this, I want to ask this too. It is not always the easiest to get to the heart of Lauren.
Mm.
And what just made me think about that, even when I was thinking about hair, and we mentioned Dominique, because I know that's one of your good girlfriends too, that I know you still do her hair to this day, because like you said, especially to Black women, hair speaks a lot. Um,
Yes.
what is it about you that kind of has this thing that it takes a while for people to get in with you, but once they do, it's
Mm.
it. And I'm saying that because I only got to be with you for a short period, but I knew that was the case with you.
Hmm.
It was kind of like, okay, I'm gonna sit back and watch how this coach gonna be. But where does that come from? But once people are in with you, you are legit
Oh,
ride
yeah.
or die.
Oh, yeah. Oh, like I told you earlier, blood in, blood out. Once
Yeah.
we in for life, right? But it really stems from my childhood. Just
Mm,
not having that connection with my parents naturally. I just didn't want to give it to, I don't give it to just anybody.
right.
It just comes from that. And I don't think it's a protection of myself. It's not that. It was just a learned behavior. Like not everybody's worthy of having your energy and your soul and your spirit. Like not everybody's worthy of that. So I
Wow.
pick the people that I have around me very closely, you know.
Mhm. I always have, always will. Love your confidence, your beauty. I love how you not just physically make us look even more gorgeous, but you always have spoke life, especially into women.
Mm-hmm,
And
mm-hmm.
that is a sign of true selflessness, because sometimes that's the hardest thing for us to do as women, is to acknowledge another woman. And you've done that for so long. So what is it about you that makes you see something in a woman, whether it's her hair, where it could be her shoes, it could be how she's responding to somebody, that you don't stop from giving them that compliment or saying, girl, you got it. Where does that come from? Every woman does not do that.
Every woman can't do it. And it's basically it came from it not being done to me.
Mm,
So, because I know what it feels like to get a compliment, especially from a woman, I just made that my thing. Like, girl, you are so cute, and
right.
I that's just me, you know.
Mm.
Um, I just love to make people feel good.
Oh,
I do.
feel
Everybody
good.
deserves it. Everybody deserves it.
Yes, feel good, look good. And then with you having two boys and a girl, and those boys are so strong and so cute and so different. I love that your kids have their own personality, who
Yes.
they're gonna be. I mean, it's amazing. But then for you to have a girl,
Oh,
dude, like, I can't wait to see what this is gonna make.
oh,
Girl,
it is bad already. She is a mini me.
I
Okay, can you
know.
imagine? She's a mini me. She gives people compliments all the time. She
I
tells her
believe
best
it.
friends, "You are so pretty, girl." Like that's how she talks. You are so pretty, girl. Like she just does. I wanted to pour so much confidence into her,
Hmm.
and baby, I overpoured it. I think it's just spilling.
She got
Just,
it.
I
She
did very well at that.
Oh, well, we love Miss Gabby. That is for sure. So I'm blessed by you. your presence fills my cup.
Mm,
It does, because I'm just so proud. I'm not surprised at all with
mm,
everything that you've accomplished, everything you walked through, your transparency. And now you're going back to just put more tools in your tool belt. So there's no telling what else is going to open
mm.
up out of this.
Thank
So
you,
I'm
Coach.
excited about the opportunities that are coming your way. And thank you, my love, for giving
Oh,
me 15 minutes of your time.
thank you for having me.
Okay, well, I'm going to be talking to you soon. All right.
Love you.
All right. Love you too, baby. Oh, guys, and I meant what I said. She fills my cup. Um, and I was actually 26 when I met Lauren for the first time. I mean, 26. Like, when I think back, what was I thinking? What was I doing? 26 years old, and that confidence that she's talking about, even though she would drive me crazy saying, "Hey, girl, hey, cute," but for some reason, me as that 26-year-old, I needed to hear that, because I didn't feel like I had it. But she just has always been that one that would tell you you got it and you don't even know you got it. So I want to encourage somebody that's watching this. Why don't you practice that? Why don't we practice that with people? Exactly what she's doing, and she just doesn't do it with words, but she does it with actions too. So thank you again for joining us for 15, 15 for 15 with myself and Miss Lauren Rochelle, and we will see you guys next time.